Welcome to Adventures of Deanna. I'm Deanna and I'm on an adventure to lose over 100 pounds listening to a podcast, Losing 100 Pounds with Corinne Crabtree. So today's video, I'm going to talk about one of my favorite things, habit tracking. And then later on, I'm going to talk about this past week and what my weight loss results were and how I'm doing. Habit trackers. So I track so many things. So I have my Silk and Sonder journal that I track my mood, I track my habits. Then I have my regular tracker with the No BS weight loss program, and in that I also track my habits. And then I also track my 24-hour food plan, so what it is that I'm going to eat, when I'm going to exercise, all of the things. I plan out my day every single morning just to set the tone for the day, so I know exactly what my choices are, what it is that I'm going to do, and there's no decision work that I have to make later in the day. It's already set in stone. And now I'm doing this 67-day group weight loss challenge, Try Your Best Bitch, with Miss Beatrice Caruso. So now I have another habit tracker on my clipboard. You know, I'm serious that way. So tracking there. But then, if that's not enough, I also track on the Naturally Slim program because I'm still doing that. It's free through my insurance at work and I absolutely love it. They have great videos every week that talks about sleep and activity and making sure that you're meeting the needs that you have for yourself. So it is wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So I track on there. And then I also track in this thing called Thrive, which is also through my work. So I get a discount on my insurance if I earned so many points. So every day I have to log in and I track my healthy habits. Did I take the stairs? Did I drink water first thing in the morning? Did I make a food plan for the day? Other random things. But by tracking this, I get points and then I'll get a discount on my insurance for doing this every single day. So I have multiple ways in which I track my habits. Because I don't count calories, these are the things that help to let me know, other than the scale number, if I am successful. So things like, did I make my 24-hour plan? Did I follow my plan? Did I eat when hungry, stop when satisfied? Did I get my exercise in for the day? Did I get my sleep in for the day? Did I do my self-development work? All of these things. And these are all things that are part of the 67-day challenge that Beatrice Caruso is holding. So when she said she was doing this, I was like, well, why wouldn't I? Because these are things that I'm already doing. So this is just reinforces, and I say that word a lot, reinforces, but it just reinforces what it is that I'm already doing. Why are habit trackers a good idea is something that I want to talk about. Habit trackers have a lot of great benefits. So they help us to become more organized. They promote healthy habits. They help you with mindfulness and being mindful about your day and the actions that you're taking. Habit trackers also help with your mental health. Habit trackers are also a great way for you to celebrate your success. And you know, if you watched last week's video, I am all about celebrating your success. Talking about celebrating success, there's a reason why celebrating success is so very important. There's this thing called the motivational triad, which is talking about our brains. So our brains have, three things that they mainly do. Number one is they seek out pleasure, desire, happiness. This could be through food, connection with others, sex. It can also be from, acceptance and recognition. The second thing our brain wants to do is to avoid pain, whether that is physical or emotional. It wants to avoid pain. And the third thing that our brain wants to do is it wants to conserve energy. So it wants to use the path of least resistance in order to get its first directive, pleasure, and its second one, no pain. So if we are celebrating things that whenever we're trying to create new habits and we are celebrating that we're doing those, it makes the habit easier because we're telling our brain that we're enjoying it, that we're having fun, that this is giving us pleasure, it is bringing us joy, it helps us feel good. So by using a habit tracker, by filling in these squares, it helps to say, this is an enjoyable activity. These are things I like to do. So whenever I'm filling out my handy dandy weight loss challenge tracker, the first thing, and part of the challenge is, did I do my diet plan? And then it talks about my 1 hour or 5 hours of movement for the week. Hydration. Did I measure my progress? Read a book. All of these things that are part of the challenge. When we're looking at doing our habit tracker, we want to invoke, is that the right word? We want to bring about a feeling of pride and joy and happiness. So whenever I sit down to color in my habit tracker or to write down that I did it, I say to myself, I am so proud of myself today for accomplishing this. For every single box, I am so proud of myself for doing this. I'm so happy that I found time today to read this book. I'm so happy that I got to do my exercise today. My body feels so good because I followed my diet plan and I drank my water. Just saying these things, letting your brain know that this brings you joy, this brings you happiness. It's going to make it easier to do. You're going to be less resistant to do them over time by practicing them, by bringing that sense of accomplishment and joy and happiness. It makes it a lot more fun. If something is something that we dread doing, that it's not exciting, it's miserable, it's frustrating, it's hard, it's whatever, we're going to be less likely to do those things because our brain wants us to avoid pain. If we're thinking about something that's in a painful way, then our brain is not going to be very encouraging for us to do those types of activities. So we want to let our brain know that I enjoy this. I love doing it. It's exciting. So that's habit trackers and why I absolutely love habit trackers. If you go back, I have a habit tracker like February, January, December, November, October. I didn't do one in September or August. I was bad. But July, I have one. June, May. Like, they go on and on and on and on and on and on. And that's it. So I've been tracking my habits for a while now. And when I first started tracking my habits, the cool thing about this is you can kind of give yourself a grade based on, how many things. It's not about, if you didn't do something. It's going to take time to create these habits. So when I first started, for instance, I would make my daily 24-hour plan, but I would only follow that plan 35% of the time. Was the first, month that I had there. 35% of the time. Getting my water in, I was only at a 60% at drinking my water every single day. But the more that I practiced these skills and activities, the better my scores were. There's some months in here where I would get like 93% on some of the habits that I had. So it's not about the days that you don't do, but it's about creating the habit. And they take time to create over time. So if you don't do something, that's why I absolutely love this challenge again, is because we're trying our best. That we don't have to have a sense of failure if we skip a day, if we don't do something. We just continue on the next day and try and fill in that box the next day. So every morning whenever I get up, it's part of my morning routine, is I fill out my little tracker, all 5 million of them for the morning, and I just fill it in. Did I do this stuff or did I not do it? No big deal. If I don't do it, then that's okay. It doesn't have to be 100%, but we are trying to do them. So, habit trackers. While we're talking about habit trackers, I have my Silk and Sonder tracker for the month of April, and I kind of wanted to show you some of the beautiful trackers that people have. There's a Facebook group for the Silk and Sonder planners that I'm in, and these people are just so creative, and they create really beautiful habit trackers. Mine is kind of boring compared to other people's, so I just want to show you what some of those look like, because I just feel like they're really neat, and it brings out a sense of, creativity, and some of these people are so just awesome. Let's talk about my week. So last week I weighed in at 205.8, and this week I weighed in at 206.8. So there was a pound gain. So if I was going strictly on the scale, that is not a really good result. But when I look at my habits, when I look at my habit tracker, so I journaled 5 out of 7 days. I did my daily plan 7 out of 7 days, which is big for me. I'm normally a 5 out of 7 days person for my daily plan, because I tend to rebel against it on the weekends. Checked in with my accountability partners every single day. Again, I normally do like 5 out of 7, so this was a big win for me this week. And reviewed my weekly goals. I did that 7 out of 7 days this week, because this month, I did something new, and I decided to put my plan, my monthly goals, in a more visible location so I could see them every day. So I didn't have to flip to a page in the book to look at them. They're on my wall, so I can see them every single day and know what my goals are. So my habit tracker for the month of April is looking pretty good. I have like a lot of dots on here, and I'll maybe scan this in. But it's looking pretty good. So the only thing that I did not do was follow my plan 2 out of 7 days. Other than that, I was 100% on everything else. Making my plan, assessing my plan, getting my water, sleep, hunger, workout. So I feel good about my results, even though the scale disagrees, even though the scale says I'm up a pound. That's okay, because the habits, the daily habits, that's what I'm really, really focused on, is making sure that I'm following my habits in order to be healthy. It used to be, for instance, with exercise, it used to be a conversation in my head. It was like a debate. We would sit there in my internal brain. We would talk about the exercise. Oh, I don't want to. I'm too tired. It's too cold. It's too wet. It's too hot. Whatever. And I try to talk myself out of it. The more that I have built this habit of getting up and going for my morning walk, the easier it's become. Now it's not even really a conversation. It's just something that I get out and do. And on a few occasions now, I've been caught in the rain because I don't even check the weather. I just put my shoes on, get, out the door, and I'm walking. Because it's just a habit. It's what I do. So I want to build on these other habits. We talked about how I want to incorporate more yoga into my routine and my habits, and I have not done good. If you look at my habit tracker, like this one here, yoga is the top line with the blue boxes. You're going to see that I've only done yoga like 3 times for the entire month of April. And that's not really where I want to be. So I've decided that this week I'm going to make a change to my morning routine. See, how I was trying to do it was I was trying to do it after my walk. And whenever I got back from my walk, I would kind of talk myself out of it. I would be wanting to do other things. So instead of doing it after my walk, I'm now going to do it first thing in the morning. As soon as I wake up, I'm going to have my glass of water, and then I'm going to do my yoga. And then I'm going to go for my walk and see how that will change. If that's going to be more of a successful routine for me, if I do it before versus after. I'm hoping that I'll be able to argue with myself less with this new method. The other thing that I've been working on and I've been failing at is I want to create a nighttime routine, and I didn't do that at all. I so did not do that at all. Again, it's one of those things that I have to work at. I have to practice. I'm going to have to set a reminder on my phone in order to perhaps complete this, because the current strategies that I'm using by just thinking, oh, I'd really like to have a nighttime routine, that strategy of just, oh, I think I'd like to create a nighttime routine, that's not working. I need to find a reminder on my phone to trigger me to do it, or some other method that's going to trigger me to do those things. So for instance, whenever I get off work at 4:30, I have a set of behaviors and actions that I do at 4:30. That's generally whenever I clean the litter box, take out the trash, clean the dishwasher, do laundry, tidy up the bathroom. These are all my, right after work tasks. So if I were to add on to that, but I was really hoping to get a nighttime routine that's more like in the 8, like a before bedtime routine. So I need to get more consistent with that and trying to work that out. So are you a habit tracker? Is this something that you do? Do you use an app or do you do it on paper? Let me know down in the comments below if you are currently using a habit tracker or if it's something that you are interested in doing. If you're interested in the 67-day challenge and you want to do the 67-day challenge, it started on Saturday. Nope, it started on Sunday, April the 18th. But if you're interested, I have this Google Sheet that I'm going to link down in the description box below if you want to get it, so you can track your progress. You can either, print it out like I did. I like pen to paper. I like to color in the blocks. I don't like to just track digitally. I like to track on paper. So you can either, track digitally or you can print it out and track that way. I prefer this method. That's just me. You do you. So don't forget to comment down below if you're using a habit tracker. What kind of habit tracker do you use? That wraps up the week. I talked about habit trackers. I talked about my week and everything to do with that. So I guess I'll see you guys in the next video. As always, it's going to be an adventure. Bye.